Okay, hi friends. Welcome to ScreenVomit, the only movie podcast. I am Grandma Kayla, and I am here with my co-host Collin.
Hi.
And this episode, we also have a very special guest, currently my only real-life showbiz pal, formerly in the band House Olympics. TJ Jaeger!
Yay!
TJ, how long ago did we meet? I was trying to think about this.
I believe we met in 2014 or so. We met at the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis in Fountain Square. And it was, you booked us on a show with Messes, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Love Messes.
Yeah. I think that was the
Great
first time
band.
that we played a show.
Wait, ever?
No, at the Hoosier Dome. And ever.
Okay, yeah. Well, I had to have heard of you or band somehow. I just don't remember. It's been so long ago, and I've booked so many shows.
Brag.
But yeah, we've known each other for at least half a decade.
Yeah. We've probably been to like hundreds of shows together.
If not thousands.
Yeah. True. So yeah, great. Welcome to the podcast. This is TJ's very first podcast. Everybody, round of applause, okay?
Yeah, be nice to him. No mean tweets.
What's up, podcast?
Well, we're still working that one out. I'll tell you one thing I have found about myself recently after having been quarantined for 2 months. And my vocal speaking ability deteriorating at a rapid pace.
I think that's a real thing because you just don't talk to people as much.
It truly is. So working on that one.
Yeah, you're all down at my level.
This podcast, we're going to talk about a movie, and we're also going to practice being humans again. It's exciting.
That's true. Mm-hmm. That's true. Okay, so normally our podcast, we only talk about movies that are in theaters. However, theaters don't exist anymore. Welcome to 2020, baby. So we are doing movies that you can stream at home. And our guest picked this week's movie, and that would be the 2017 film Killing of a Sacred Deer. And you can find this now on Netflix. So yeah, you can watch this now on Netflix. And I will say, this isn't always true for our podcast, but I think this time is one where you need to watch the movie before you listen to the podcast. So if you're listening without having seen it, you should probably see it. Okay. So that being said, Collin, do you want to tell us who's in this? And we can just stick to the big boys.
So I haven't said this on pod, but I'm actually in a throuple. And my two partners are in this movie, Colin Farrell and Nicole Kidman.
Hell yeah.
My partners, because I'm in a very hot person throuple right now, and it's working out nicely.
Hell yeah.
We got some freaking dweebo named Barry Cogan from freaking Ireland.
Yeah.
Raffi Cassidy.
Hey, I said stick to the big boys.
Okay, well, Alicia Silverstone.
There we go. And
who are these no names?
Do you want to shout out this director? Because we have a famous director on this one, too.
We do. It's directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, who did Lobby, the Lobster. It's not called Lobby the Lobster. It's just called The Lobster.
He also did The Favorite, which I love. And we... Also in this movie, a lesser celeb, but Sonny Solyk.
I don't.
He plays the little brother, but he's the kid from mid-90s. He's like the one on the poster of mid-90s.
Oh,
so,
even wilder. That's the kid who is Atreus in the new God of War for the gamers out there.
He's also in the movie House with the Clock in Its Walls with our boy Jack Black. So,
are we pro Jack? We are very pro Jack Black on this podcast.
We're pro Jack Black. I think we gotta be.
Have we done a Jack Black pod? Or a Jack Black movie?
No. I mean, since we've started the podcast, I think he's only been in Jumanji's, right?
Oh, probably. He's just making money on kind of kids movies now, yeah.
He has a YouTube, too, that's really cute if you haven't seen it.
He deserves every single drop of success he gets.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah. We love Jack Black. He's nice. You know, he's just putting positive energy out there. He's doing his thing. That's cool.
I can tell you a real life story about when he was not very pleasant to one of my friends.
Oh, no.
I don't want to hear it.
I do.
It's hilarious.
Spill the tea.
So one of my friends, I guess they ran into Jack Black out here, like at some film premiere or something. And they went up to Jack Black and was like, "Oh my God, Jack Black, I love you, School Rock." And then he asked for a selfie. And then I guess literally Jack Black spun around in a circle, shot finger guns at him and said no, and then just walked away.
Oh, that's fine. That's not being a dick. I'm cool
I
with
think
that.
it's so funny.
also cool
Like
with
I'm like, it's such a Jack Black experience. I feel like I would expect that.
But you also can't like really expect people to just always be down to take a pic.
Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. Absolutely
and
not.
being like someone like Jack Black, like he probably gets asked for a pic every time he turns around.
So at least he has fun, like saying no to people, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would be thrilled if Jack Black did like he said like, no. I'd be like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's great. That's a good story. Critic Scores on this movie. We got 79% Rotten Tomatoes, 73% Metacritic, so pretty similar.
Yeah.
And 61% of Google users, which is criminal, I feel like.
What is with Google users?
I don't know.
They gave Alita Battle Angel a 93, didn't they?
Yeah.
I just want to know what like demographic of people are like using Google to review movies, you know?
I mean, it's just a thumbs up or thumbs down situation. It's right there on the page. So it's like, I don't know. If I've seen this movie, I'll just click the little whichever one I agree with, you know?
Interesting.
I think it's 12-year-olds. 12-year-olds would love Alita Battle Angel. Well, most 12-year-olds would like this movie. Not a lot of them. Like 60% of 12-year-olds would like this movie, you know?
This movie doesn't seem like it's very fair to 12-year-olds based on how the cast was treated.
True. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and watch the trailer real fast.
All right.
We don't have to worry about nothing, 'cause we got the fire and we're burning one hell of a something. They're gonna see us from outer space.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about Bod.
It's
nothing serious. No, it is.
Like we're the stars of the human race.
Where did you two go?
When the lights started out, they don't know what they heard. Strike the match, play it loud, giving love to the world.
How did his father die?
We'll be raising
A surgeon never kills a patient. An anesthesiologist can kill a patient, but a surgeon never can.
'Cause we got the fire.
Don't be scared, Mom.
Yeah, we
You'll
got
see.
the fire.
You won't be able to move either. But you'll get used to
Let
it.
it burn, burn, burn.
Where is she? What did you do to her?
Let it burn, 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 burn. We're gonna let it burn, burn, burn.
I don't understand why I should have to pay the price. Why my children should have to pay the price.
Let it burn, 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 burn. We're gonna
It's the only thing I can think of as close to justice.
We can light it up, up. So they can put it out, out, out.
All right, short trailer.
I fucking love this movie.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I went in knowing nothing. I had not watched a trailer. I didn't know who was in it. Mm-hmm. I saw it was A24, so I was like, oh yeah, this will be good. Holy fucking shit. This is wild.
It's a wild ride.
Yeah.
A lot of falling happens in this movie.
Yeah, this movie is not nice to 12-year-olds or knees.
I know. Goo was like, I hope that young man had a stunt boy.
Stunt knees.
Yeah, they show in the trailer. Oh, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but when this 12-year-old kid can't walk, and like when Colin Farrell's trying to like call his bluff by just like tossing him, like picking him up and like, come on, let's walk, and dropping him.
Amazing.
That would hurt so much. And like this kid is taking it on the chin.
Well,
and
let's be fair though. This kid is probably like 3'5", and he weighs about 17 pounds. So
What are you saying? It wouldn't hurt?
Well, and the speed of acceleration is 9.8 meters per second squared, so we can figure out the force of impact that his chin took.
Oh my god, I don't care.
I'm saying it would hurt a lot less. Like kids falling, they feel nothing. Okay, like they have.
Are you kidding me?
Their bones are not fully formed. They're coming from such a short height. They barely have to fall down at all.
If anything,
it would hurt.
If anything, they should have fallen down more in this movie.
Yeah.
You'd think. Wait, no. I'm the pro kid one in this argument. Oh my god, there is a lot of falling.
So I was, let's see, TJ sent me a list of movies, and my main draws to pick this movie, because I'd never heard of it, was, first of all, it's an A24 film. A24 almost never goes wrong. And then secondly, and this is going to sound stupid based on how big everybody is in this movie, Alicia Silverstone was in it. However, I've been pranked by Alicia Silverstone twice this year because
Okay, what?
I also watched The Lodge. TJ, did you see The Lodge?
I did not, no.
It came out a few months ago. Also a horror film about a deranged family where kids have to die. Wow, crazy.
Is that the person that made Goodnight Mommy?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I saw trailers for that. I wanted to see it.
Yeah, I saw it. It's pretty fine. I didn't love it, but I thought it was fine. Anyway, Alicia Silverstone was in that movie, and that's all I knew about it when I went to see that, and she's in it for one scene, probably 40 seconds total. And pretty much same deal here.
Are you a huge Silverstone stan?
I just think she's neat.
We got a silver stand over here.
What are you talking about?
No, I like her, and I haven't. The thing is that we haven't seen her in so long.
Yeah.
So, like, what's she up to? You know, just checking in. I'm just checking in.
She looked great.
She did look great, and I was really sad actually when I looked up, you know, some articles about her and stuff when I was doing my research, and she was saying like kind of the main reason why she dropped out of acting a lot is because of how terrible everyone was to her about like what her body looked like and like body shaming her and stuff like that, and like weight shaming her, and that she had a really bad experience after being in like Batman and Robin. That she kind of stopped acting after that. I mean, more or less. But she's coming back a little bit.
Yeah.
So she did these two movies that I just mentioned, and she had some other movie come out this year, actually.
Hell yeah.
But so I've been pranked by Alicia Silverstone twice is all I was getting at. And I'm sad about it. Come on.
That's the thing though, is like, I would not be disappointed. I'm jumping ahead. I don't really care. But I wouldn't be disappointed with her small contribution to this film because, like, she's fucking incredible in the one scene she's in. Oh,
she was, for sure. Actually, in both of those movies, in The Lodge and in this, she was incredible in her little part, but I just want to see more.
I get more, but, like, this one scene, I thought about her the rest of the movie still. Like...
That's true.
It's crazy. I can definitely see how much character work... I'm overlooking or overanalyzing, but, like... I felt like she built this whole fucking character for one scene. She had little tics. I thought she was fucking great.
Yeah, she was great. So, this movie, here's something funny, opens up on open heart surgery, which are real... Those are real open heart surgery scenes where Colin Farrell, IRL, was attending the scenes too, which is crazy. So I sat down to watch this on Friday night and sat down with a big old bowl of ice cream, turned on the flick, big old heart surgery, and...
Ice cream down.
Yeah. But in the other room, Gooey was watching wrestling. So I'm trying to watch this like quiet, serious film. And in the background, it's like, oh, here he goes again, you know, or whatever. And I was like, I can't do this.
To be fair, like both open heart surgery and wrestling require a great deal of good hand-eye coordination. So I feel like they do kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, you're right. And so then I was like, okay, I'll watch it Saturday morning. And so I sat down with my breakfast and turned on the movie. And here comes the open heart surgery again. So I was eating twice during watching this open heart surgery film. Part of the movie.
We had some audible gasps in our house when we watched it, just opening shot. I was watching it with Amanda and Nick, and then Nick was just like, ah! He just... Apparently, then we learned that Nick does not do well with gore.
Nick screamed and fainted.
This is fucking beyond gore, though. This is like this is body horror.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. I watched it this morning and was just, boy, I didn't like it. I'll say it. This is a perfect movie, but if I could change anything about this movie, it would be the opening shot. I would change it. I don't care if it contributes to, we're setting the mood, and no, I don't want to see it. It was gross, and it looked like it was 2 pieces of wet meat with another piece of wet meat.
The wet meats were just kissing each other.
Yeah, just kissing wet meat.
That's what a heart looks like.
I thought a heart was red. Why was it like yellow?
As we all know, hearts are red.
I didn't know what it was. I was like, I didn't think it, for some reason I just couldn't see it being a heart.
I thought it was lungs, yeah.
Yeah, but they don't move like that. I don't know. It was... okay, never mind.
Bodies are wild, you know?
Yeah, if you have a body, you should just throw it away, because it's disgusting.
Yeah, unseemly.
So much stuff happens inside your body that you just don't even know about, and to me, that's crazy, but I feel like most people don't think about that a lot.
It's wild when you think about all the, like, functions your body does that don't require consciousness, or, like, your conscious...
And something that seems crazy to me is, like, how much of your own body that you live with for your whole life that you never get to see.
Your nose. Well, you can see part of your nose. If you got a big honker like me, you can see some of it.
Your nose, the first thing you think about.
I was thinking about bones.
Bones, heart, spleen, like...
Well, it's like you can never see your own nose without a mirror. Or your own forehead without a mirror.
Or your own eyeballs.
Yeah.
Your
How do you
brain.
See 'em?
There's all these things that you never get to see. It just, hopefully you never get to see.
I'd like to see my bones.
Yeah.
I'd love to see my bones. And here's the thing.
I'd be scared. Too scary.
I got x-rays a while back. And I was so excited to look at my bones, and I lost the disc.
The disc?
I was so excited about it.
Did they give you just like a floppy disk?
No, it's on a CD. It's like they burned it to a CD. But
and they put their tracks on it too.
They burned me a mixtape with my bones on it. And I'd love to see my bones. So maybe one day I'll find that CD and we'll make it happen. But
if you do X-rays out there, tweet at us.
Yeah,
free X-rays.
Send us your bones.
Let me see your bones. Brought to you by Squarespace.
I have a song about how you never get to meet your bones.
A good song?
It's fine. It's almost impossible to find online because it's on a compilation from New Noise music, not related to the magazine. And I don't know. That's fine. We can.
All right.
Cut all of this.
Leave it in.
Okay, so we open on the open heart surgery. Pretty soon after, Colin Farrell is meeting a young man at a restaurant here.
Actually, going back to the open heart surgery, so Amanda chimed in when we were watching the movie. She said that he took his gloves off wrong, because she used to study crime scene investigation and stuff, and she was like, yeah, he took his gloves off wrong. And I thought that was an interesting point once we kind of learn more about Colin Farrell's troubled past, that kind of shows more about his character. Maybe they just fucked up and they didn't have someone on set saying, nope, you took your gloves off wrong. Or maybe in the medical world they just don't care, but I thought it was worth pointing up.
They do care. My stepmom won't shut up about medical things. She's a doctor.
As we have found out in the last month or two, just about nobody knows how to properly use sterile gloves or masks. So
no way, baby. Touching masks every day. Going back to this cafe where he's meeting with this young man, it's not just any young man. It is the ugliest young man I have ever laid eyes on.
His eyes are so close together.
He is the most discomforting looking little boy, little lad, and he plays this part well. I hope this kid, I hope he gets, everything he ever wants, Barry Keoghan, because he is disconcerting to watch.
He kind of reminded me of, have y'all ever seen the movie Spun?
No.
Well, here's the thing about the movie Spun. It came out in 2002. It's a fine movie. It was one of my favorite movies when I was in high school, but rewatching it doesn't hold up quite as well, but it's still pretty good. And I find myself, seeing similarities between other movies to this movie a lot. But anyway, okay. Patrick Fugit is in it. You know who that is from what's the movie he's in? The rock and roll movie.
Wrist Cutters.
Well,
Almost Famous.
Yeah, Almost Famous. It's the same thing they do in this movie where he kind of already looks disgusting, and then throughout the movie, they kind of make him more and more disgusting. Like later on in the movie, this character, Martin, will get close-ups on his face where his skin's all greasy, he's got food stuck on his face, he just gets grosser and grosser throughout the movie.
Yeah.
I cannot wait until we talk about the spaghetti scene. I have so much to say
about it.
I have so much to say
we're not
about
talking about the spaghetti because I will vomit on my microphone if we talk about that spaghetti scene.
We're going to talk about it.
Can we call this episode Dad Spaghetti?
Yes. Oh, yeah, we can. So, yeah, the restaurant where they met... The restaurant is called the Blue Jay Restaurant, and in American folklore, the Blue Jays are considered to be tricksters and servants of the devil. So they always meet in this restaurant, which is called the Blue Jay Restaurant.
Interesting.
So it has a little bit of something going on there. Yeah.
Here's something. I've been watching a lot of... this is really cool. This is going to make me sound cool for everyone. I've been watching a lot of bird feeder live streams lately.
Scrambles?
No, just for me. Well, and Scrambles. Scrambles likes them too, but it's mostly me.
Yeah, for Scrambles.
And, Blue Jays suck. They're dicks.
Yeah, they're mean. They eat other birds' nests and stuff. And, in American folklore, you can find it, referenced in so many different things. But, yeah, they're considered bad boys, to say the least.
That rules. That's cool.
Huh. I really liked the way that they kind of narratively kind of brought Martin into the story, just because because again, kind of like Collin, I didn't really have much context going into this movie. I've only seen the trailer. I knew a little bit about the cast, but I didn't really know much about what was going to happen in this story. So I didn't know who Martin was for the longest time, which obviously they did intentionally, but for at least the first 45 minutes or so of this movie, I was like, oh, this is a sex thing.
Yeah,
this is definitely a sex thing.
They really kept it a mystery, and I was like, either it's a sex thing or it's he's secretly fathered this child and is taking care of him on the DL, or something they really keep it a mystery for a long time. And I'll say it's basically the only thing that makes the first half of the movie interesting, or the first third of the movie or whatever. It's what keeps you going.
I loved all of this, but this, especially after just watching Alita Battle Angel a couple days ago, a movie that tells you everything and says everything.
This is the opposite.
Yes.
So good to watch a movie just show, not tell, just show it.
Yeah.
Through this, their relationship with every meeting, the relationship, builds a little bit at the beginning, but at a point, maybe after the first 15 minutes, every time they meet, their relationship just declines. And decays into something else, and it's so fucking weird, and I love it.
Well, they kind of, they're sprinkling in facts here and there. We find out they've been meeting for about 6 months. We do know that Colin Farrell is lying to his coworkers about who this boy is.
Yep.
So, and then this boy is starting to come around more and more and more, almost to the point of stalking, which is kind of its own little anxiety-inducing bit or whatever. Yeah. And so he keeps showing up at Colin Farrell's work and just showing up everywhere and being spooky and weird looking.
Yeah, and even all credit to this kid, this actor, because I fucking hate him because of this role, which I think is massive credit if you're disgusted by an actor wholly, because the way he talks, the dialogue throughout this whole movie is written very, it's odd. Mm-hmm. Like, listening to it, you're like, this is a weird way to have a conversation.
Yeah.
No one talks like this in real life. But him especially, it's just... Like, early in the movie, Colin Farrell gives him a watch or something as a present. Mm-hmm. And hearing him talk about, he gets a new band for the watch. Yeah. And it's so upsetting to hear him just talk about this. Do you want to see my new watch? I got a leather bracelet. And like, that's why he came into his work, to show him this new strap on a watch. And it's just like, dude, what the fuck are you?
Yeah, it does seem like he maybe has like a screw loose or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, the dialogue, it was just insane. Like what Colin was talking about, like it just felt so inhuman. Like it felt so plastic and fake. Like and so much of that goes to like the actors too. Like this morning, I was watching like a video. It was like an interview that Colin Farrell and Yorgos did, and Colin talked a lot about it, where he was saying that it was like so hard to just like deliver those lines like that, just so unnaturally, like with like such
the
like
deadpan delivery.
Yeah, the deadpan like staccato delivery, because like every sentence was like so short. But like, I feel like it just like helps like tell the story so well, just because like it feels just so like robotic, because like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at the beginning, I felt like it made things look kind of boring for me personally, and I know I'm gonna get roasted for that. But just a little bit into the film, especially once we start getting to when he's over for dinner and like the kids are asking him like all these weird questions, like weird personal questions, but in that like deadpan delivery, that's when it really starts to like have a real effect for me, where that's when you really notice like how weird everything is.
Yeah.
So fucking weird. When Kim says to him, I just had my first period, I wrote down like, why would you say that? Why would you? That's such a, no, not him. Like, it's so weird to hear them talk about such, and especially with such a young cast, because they're three, Martin, Kim, and Bob, the son. I think, Martin's supposed to be 16? They're all under 18 years old.
Yeah. Martin's supposed to be 16. The daughter is 14. And then I don't know if it's ever said exactly how old the son is. Yeah. But the son also asks about his armpit hair in that scene.
Very weird.
And then makes him show it.
I hated that. I hate it. Also, I want to point out, this is a small thing, but the Bob is like, my dad's hairier, blah, blah, blah. And later Colin Farrell shows his body, not that hairy. I'm hairier than Colin Farrell.
I know. I was expecting to see like a real like bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, bada bing.
Yeah, where's the hair? I want the fucking hair.
Yeah. They should have put those the muffs on him. What is it called? The Merkins.
Yeah, because
they should have hired a freaking Italian.
Yeah, because in that scene when Martin's like, you do have a lot of hair, but not 3 times as much as me, I was like, fucking true, Martin, fucking true.
You got him.
You know what? Roast him, Martin. I went to high school with guys who were hairier than that.
Yeah, he's not that hairy.
No, he's not.
He is not Colin Farrell, that's for sure.
Hey, Colin, is it weird to say your own name for this whole movie?
Yeah, this is something that I don't know if other people feel this way, and I guess I can ask you guys. Do you guys feel weird when you say your own name?
TJ, I'm sure you know a ton of people named TJ.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I feel extremely weird when there's another TJ around, because it happens so infrequently. Yeah, so like, I was actually, I was working this one job a while back, and there was another TJ. He was like the producer on the show, and I was like a lowly PA, so they asked me to change my name so I could, so it wouldn't be confusing over the walkie-talkie. So
what'd you go by?
Letters.
Letters?
Yeah, because that's what my name's made out of.
All right, I get it. That must be a Hollywood thing. One of those West Coast jokes I've been hearing so much about.
Oh, Letters Jaeger here. Yeah, I feel super weird when other people have my name, but I'm also in the club where, like, it's not like nobody in the world is named Kayla, but in my circle, I have encountered very few. So I've never been friends with somebody named Kayla. In my whole entire school experience, I only ever went to school with 2 people, with my name, and they both were gone before high school. So
You were the lone survivor.
I was the lone survivor, the strongest one.
I certainly don't like having friends with named Collin. Mm-hmm. It's annoying. My stepsister's name is Colleen, and that creates some hilarious mix-ups. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Okay, soon after this, we also meet Nicole Kidman. She plays Colin Farrell's wife. There's just, she barely does anything, but she has we see curly Kidman. Which is cool. I love to see a curly-haired Kidman. And we have the sex scene, which is just funny, where she goes under, quote, general anesthesia to bang. Where she just gets naked and lays absolutely, lifeless.
Yeah.
And, strange fetish, but hey, at least they're fucking and they're in love, I guess.
It's weird sex. Yeah.
It's weird sex, yeah.
It's fine.
Imagine if Nicole Kidman got to be her Australian self.
Nicole Kidman is an outstanding actress. That doesn't even need to be stated. She slipped a couple times on the accent. I heard a little Australian, mate. Every now, just like a couple words here and there.
Actually, if we're breaking down the family, the only American in the main cast of this movie was the young son.
Really? The girl's British?
The daughter's British. Colin Farrell's Irish. Mm-hmm. The Martin actor is Irish, and then Nicole Kidman's Australian.
And why the fuck did they shoot this in Cincinnati?
Yeah, they did. In a neighborhood I used to be in a lot, actually.
Talk about culturally diverse.
Yeah.
The melting pot of the Midwest.
Truly. If there's one place where cultures meet, it's Cincinnati.
Oh, Jesus.
Just could have been cool. You almost never get to see Nicole Kidman be Australian. Just
what
interesting.
About in Australia, a movie that I think was 6 hours long?
I don't know. Never seen it. But
I never saw it either.
I saw articles where she was like, please let me be Australian. Like, people only want to cast me if I'm going to speak like an American, and I really want to be myself. So she should, because Australians are hot.
She's hot no matter what. She gets in her freaking... All right, everyone, put your kids to bed. Welcome to smooth screen vomit. That's what we'll call this section.
Brought to you by MeUndies.
Smooth vomit?
Smooth vomit. Welcome to smooth vomit. Now, we see Nicole Kidman in her freaking bra and panties, and
we see titties, don't we?
We do see. That's later on, and when I queued up the movie, I saw that it was rated R for a few things, and one of them was, of course, nudity, which anytime I see that, I'm just like, 2 thumbs up. Yes, please. Ticket. Where else are you going to see free boobies,
Yeah.
Only at the movies.
Oh, yeah. That's the only way to see them.
Only online.
Yeah, she's hot.
Yeah.
The end. By Colin Bates.
Oh my. All right, and that concludes this episode of Smooth Vomit. And now back to our episode of Screen Vomit. So Colin Farrell invites Martin over for dinner.
Why?
I don't know why. I don't really understand it. I don't know that... It seems like his family doesn't even understand who this... I'm just going to invite this 16-year-old boy over for dinner. Yeah. Is that cool, everyone? Yeah, sure.
I thought they were gonna try to kill him that night. Honestly, I was just like, yep, this movie's turning into a weird sex thing. Now it's a murder thing.
I didn't know what the friggin' deal was. I didn't know if they were going to end up in a threesome or what it was.
That's why I love the movie so much, because they don't, like Colin said, they don't explain anything. They just let it happen. And it feels voyeuristic, and I feel like a lot of it has to do with the camera.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the camera's always just it's just following.
Yeah.
It's always zooming in, It's always at just weird high angles, And I love when a movie, when the technical aspects of it can help tell the story that they're trying to tell, And I feel that this movie just does a really good job of that.
Yeah.
Because it's the camera work is just as weird and confusing as the narrative itself.
Mm-hmm. And it seems like you want to impose normal family onto this family. There's a mom, there's a dad, they both have, they're doctors, they have regular jobs, there's 2 kids, they all live together, nuclear family.
The dog, yeah.
Yeah, you want to impose sure, normal family, normal life, but everything that goes on in this movie, the way they talk, the way it looks, everything that's like happening is so not normal. Like it's a little jarring, you know, but it's cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
The whole movie feels unnatural in every aspect.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it. It just pushes you out of your comfort zone constantly, which is why I have gross movie for perverts written down.
Okay, so let me ask you guys a question. Mm-hmm. And this might make me sound a little bit like an anti-vaxxer.
Are you gonna ask us if we're pro-vaccination?
I love this lead up.
Not gonna go that far.
Okay.
But do you feel like that it's interesting that Colin Farrell's character is a surgeon, which I guess you could say is inherently a very unnatural career?
Oh, sure.
Am I just like really reaching here, or do you think there's something there?
I think you're reaching, but I think you're also onto something that maybe I don't know, because this movie does feel so deliberate. Everything feels so laid out and intricate, like a fucking like the gears of a watch. Like everything is exactly how they want it. They chose a surgeon for, you know, X, Y, and Z. So while I personally am like, I don't think they thought that much. Maybe they fucking did. I don't know. You're big showbiz boy. I don't know how much detail. I really don't know how much detail goes into like writing a movie. Yeah.
I think they needed the parents to be in healthcare so that when things did start going wrong, they would know what they're talking about, who to call, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That kind of stuff. So we're at this dinner, and what all happens here? Let's see. We talked about how Martin goes and talks to the kids, and the kids are asking him strange questions.
He takes his shirt off.
And he's smoking.
He's smoking, yeah.
Really weird.
And he's like, yeah, I just picked it up a couple months ago. Now I'm addicted, whatever. And then him and the daughter go on a walk, and she's smoking.
I know.
And this is also like, we just did Alita Battle Angel, where when Alita wakes up the first boy that she sees, she's instantly in love with. And we have pretty much the same thing going on here. The young daughter, the first boy she sees, she's instantly in love with.
Which, you know, look, I'm learning a lot about women through movies lately. If I've learned one thing, it's they love the first boy they see.
Yeah, I guess so.
No, this was so upsetting though. Like, even though it's a 2-year age difference, and in real life, yes, I dated a 17-year-old when I was 15. So like a 2-year age gap in your teens is really nothing.
Wow.
Yeah. Not to brag, Jill, if you're out there, I'm still thinking it. No, I'm not thinking about it anymore. I love you, Lindsay. So like this age gap isn't upsetting in and of itself, but it's just, it feels so much ickier because he's like, he gets grosser every time he's on screen. He gets just...
But I'll tell you, when you're that age, boys being gross, if they show some attention on you, I've been with some gross boys.
Tight.
Let's just say
that. Every 14-year-old boy is grossing, or 16, I'm sorry. Every 16-year-old boy is grossing crazy.
Yeah, don't exclude 14-year-olds.
And 14-year-old boys.
Most boys are gross from at least ages 14 to 20, and then possibly
you
longer.
can go all the way up to 30.
No, 27 and below. I'm not gross.
Whatever, I'm 26,
all
dude.
right, 26 and below.
26 and below is gross. 28 and above is gross.
Yep. Our prime years, buddy.
Okay. All these details about how Martin's father died are kind of trickling in, but I feel like they say a few different ways, right? Don't they? Like one point they say that his dad died in a car crash. Another time they say it was like a heart thing. So
he tells Martin it was a hereditary thing, like it was like incurable or something.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Which I thought was a really cool aspect of this movie too, because he never admits guilt. Like he never says that it was his fault. I mean, like, and that's kind of like, I feel like one of the more lower hanging fruits, I guess, and like all the symbolism and metaphors or themes or whatever in this movie. But yeah, I just love that. I love the idea of accountability that they bring into this movie and how it just doesn't, like, even like I know I'm getting ahead of myself because I want to talk about the way that the movie ended too, but like, yeah, just accountability is just so prominent in this movie, and the way that they handle it is like just so great.
Yeah.
For sure.
But also terrible.
Yeah, so, you know, speaking on that, like, what we do find out over time, eventually piecing things together, sort of, is that this boy's father died because Colin Farrell was doing surgery on him or whatever and fucked something up and he died on his operating table. So, basically, he killed them. So, that becomes more important later. In between then and now, is when, so the boy invites Colin Farrell over to his house for dinner to repay the favor of him inviting him over to Colin Farrell's house for dinner. So this is when we meet Alicia Silverstone, and she's killing it. And let's see, they watch Groundhog's Day, and they do the...
Which I love.
Yeah.
I love that it was Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hell yeah. And so, you know, a few minutes into the movie, Martin goes to bed like, oh, haha, I guess I'm getting tired. I'll leave you two alone. You know?
Literally shipping his mom.
Yeah.
With the dude that killed his dad.
Yeah. So you can be my new daddy now.
What is his end game? Because knowing what we know happens, what is your plan, Martin?
I think he just wants a dad firstly.
I guess.
That's why he keeps, like, making Colin Farrell, like, meet him at restaurants and keeps, like, you know, following him and wanting to talk to him and getting presents from him and whatever. Yeah, it's just like he wants a dad again.
Well, also talking about the sinful spaghetti scene, I think that it was very intentional what Martin did with going to bed early and stuff, because I almost felt like after I watched that scene that he kind of planted that seed with the Groundhog Day and stuff to kind of like almost like try to set something up to kind of like have some dirt on Colin Farrell's character. Okay. Steven, is that his name?
Yeah.
I didn't write it down. I wrote Colin Farrell all through my notes.
It is Steve.
Yeah,
Steve.
It's all right.
Steve.
Look, we're not professionals, and people know who we're talking about when we say Colin Farrell.
Okay.
This eventually Alicia Silverstone ends up trying to make a move on Colin.
She clearly has a hand fetish, so this movie loves people with fetishes.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, your fingers are so clean and nice, and
She sucks on the fingies.
she does kissy kissies on the hand. And then when he gets up to leave, she says, I won't let you leave until you've tasted my tart.
Incredible.
Best line. Best line of 2017.
Oh, yeah.
Incredible.
Give the woman an Oscar.
Yep. And hey, she ain't freaking talking about no scone.
You know? Okay.
Another alternate title for this episode, The Forbidden Tart.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So that rocked. We love Alicia Silverstone. And then, so Martin keeps coming to the hospital. There's one part where he says he has chest pains and, like, makes them do all these tests and stuff on them. And that's the same scene where then he makes Colin Farrell show him give him a little peek of the old body hair.
Weird. I want to bring this up. I literally, the other day, I had a 11-year-old kid at work ask me if I had abs and if he could see them. And my immediate response was, I don't think that'd be appropriate for me to show you my stomach, man. Which, A, is, like, the appropriate thing to do to not show an underage person your body. And B, plausible deniability for me having abs.
Yo, they're under there. I just can't show you.
They're definitely there. You can probably see them through the shirt. But...
Yeah.
Don't show kids your belly.
No.
Well, then that begs the question, then, why do you think Colin Farrell agreed to show him?
I think he does everything because he does feel, regardless of an admission of guilt over Martin's father's death, I think he feels a modicum of responsibility for Martin, or that he owes a debt. And that's why I think he's doing all these things ultimately, is for his own, for like some karmic alignment that he's like, okay, everything's set now because I was nice to the kid whose dad I killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like his version of accepting or like admitting guilt, without actually having to admit guilt.
Exactly.
He's kind of playing like fake dad to this boy too. And so maybe because of that as well, like, well, I guess you never had a dad to like show you the ropes now because I killed him. So, I mean, did you guys you ask your dad weird body questions and make them show you their body hair?
I do not think so.
Look,
I have a strange childhood, so I don't have a real frame of reference.
TJ and I are good Midwest boys.
What's weird?
We talk with our dad about music, and that's it.
And God.
I don't even do God.
I feel like that's like a normal thing, though, right?
Music?
When you're a young kid, like asking your parents about weird body shit if you have a normal relationship with them.
No, I definitely think so. I think, though, there's a limit, and when, you're fucking 16 years old, I think you're kind of past that limit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe so. It is a little old.
It is all dependent upon the relationship.
But he has a few screws loose. I mean, is he 16 in his brain? I don't know.
Yeah.
If my son asks me when he's 16, if my child, if I have a kid, asks me when I'm 16, hey, how did your body hair grow? Then yes, I would probably because I hope I have a well-developed relationship. But this is not, I don't know, if you're not emotionally in tune, I would not have asked my dad about body hair because we were Midwest Catholics. We didn't talk about that shit. But I think with it's either, you're either at opposite end, you're either very healthy and very open about talking about maturity and sex and whatever, all the weird things you don't want to talk about with your parents, or it's the opposite end and it's like this, where it's yeah, I'll just show you my body. I'll show you my tummy in a lab. Weird. I have, right around this time, I say I would beat up Martin if I were Steve, if I were Colin Farrell.
He has a very punchable face.
I would just, if he were can I see your hair? I'd be get the fuck out of here. What do you want? I just did, okay, think about a cardiologist. They are working a ton. Colin Farrell drops all of his rounds or whatever to run tests on this kid. These tests cost money. They take labor and time. He is going way out of his way for this little shitbird. And then he has the audacity to see his belly. Ask to see his belly.
Yeah.
And then put a curse on him.
So we're almost to the curse.
Yeah.
But what happens between now and the curse is that the son can't get out of bed. And they're not sure what's going on, if he's pretending. They take him to the hospital. They do all these tests. Everybody's like, no, he's totally fine. Then they're going down the escalator. He gets to the bottom and plop.
What an awesome shot.
So cool.
It was incredible. I mean, I can see it in my mind right now. I mean, just the camera's 200 feet up in the air. Just looking down. Yeah, just them chilling, riding all the way down this escalator, gets off of it, and then, splat.
The first of many splats.
Yeah. The music goes insane. What?
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first time the music goes insane in the movie.
I have notes on my notes earlier than this about just how there's spooky shots or not really insane music, but definitely spooky tones going on.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of spooky music happening, and I'm why is all this spooky music happening when just normal stuff is going on? Nothing spooky yet.
Yeah, and that's something I loved about this movie. I think if I had to rank just the pieces of the puzzle, I would say the cinematography was my favorite part of this movie, and then the second would probably be the music. The music was just so unnerving, and then I think it did kind of really start to go haywire once Bob splatted on the ground,
Yeah.
But then soon after that, once the curse talk stops happening, I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but the music stopped for at least 45 minutes. There wasn't any music for a very long portion of the movy.
Oh, really?
I didn't even notice that, man.
Yeah, I don't think I noticed either. But
to be fair,
there was a lot going on.
This is my podcast now.
Once it started getting crazy, I kind of stopped taking notes because I didn't want to miss anything. So
I took so many notes.
Yeah.
I have a couple times I would just simply kill him. I would simply kill him.
I would simply kill him.
Like, that's how you get rid of all this. You just kill.
It's wild that they never do that.
It's literally in the title. Kill the sacred deer.
Yeah.
Then the movie will end.
Well, we'll get to that. So what happens right after this is that then Martin makes Colin Farrell come and meet him so that he can give him the details of the curse.
Mm-hmm.
I love the delivery.
Oh, yeah. It's so, like, Colin Farrell's like, okay, hurry up. I just got, like, a second. And he's like, okay, I'll make this fast for you. You killed a member of my family, so now you have to kill one of yours to even things out with karma. And the rules are, like, the order. All your family, if you don't pick one, all of them will go through the 4 stages. Paralysis of the limbs, hunger till starvation, bleeding from the eyes, and then death. And yeah, so we already know his son already has paralysis of the limbs. And so now Colin Farrell's really freaking out about this curse. And then this is where we get the multiple droppings of the boy.
Yep. Splat City.
That's where this, like, killing of a sacred deer, the title of the movie, comes in. It's kind of a reference to this Greek story, Iphigenia in Aulis, I think is how you say it. Where this man accidentally killed a sacred deer belonging to a goddess, Artemis.
Okay.
And so she makes him kill his daughter to make up for it, basically.
Gods are so dumb.
He can either kill his daughter or have his whole family be killed by his own soldiers. That's what happens in this Greek story. So basically the same thing going on. My next note, Collin shoved the donut.
The donut.
Yeah, trying to shove the donut down this boy's mouth.
That made me so mad. Because, like, those donuts look so good, and that little fucker just wouldn't appreciate it. Oh, I would have loved to eat those donuts.
He's not hungry. These kids, he can't
I don't
eat.
care.
Yeah,
Eat the donut.
The eating thing was strange. It's like, okay, I get you're not hungry, but you can, like, you still have teeth and everything, you know, like...
They were...
Like, you could chew.
Yeah, jumping forward a little bit, like, the daughter, when she hits unable, like, no appetite, she isn't even able to take swallow a fucking bite of an apple or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's hardcore shit.
Yeah, so it wasn't even like... It was like she can't eat sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because I had the same thought too. I was like, I eat when I'm not hungry all the time. It's called a coping mechanism, you know?
Hi.
Yeah, no, for sure. And here's something. I don't know the timeline. I don't know how long all of this goes on. If I don't eat for 3 hours, I get mean. I get lethargic. I stop doing things. I break down. I don't know how they went 1 day without food.
I'm the same way.
You're telling me that is the least realistic part of this movie.
Yes.
That's funny. Collin, are you hypoglycemic like me?
No, I just like to just eat throughout the day.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I like to munch.
But if I go too long, I'll pass out. I guess that's a little different.
No, mine's not mine's just like I like little meals throughout the day, I guess. And then big meal at dinner.
Okay, so we're seeing now more of like the girl having a crush on Martin. They like ride the motorcycle and she's cuddling with no helmet.
Gross.
I was so mad at that. She told her mom that she was
promised.
wearing a helmet.
Yeah, and then she wasn't. Then we see her in choir. They talk so much in this movie about how she's in choir and she loves to sing or whatever. But when she sang earlier in the movie, and you hear it in the trailer, I mean, she's like barely...
She's very good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I was going to say. So they're showing her at choir practice, and she falls down in choir practice, and her little leggies stop working. Then now both the kids are paralyzed. And my next note, pubes, teeth, hair.
Wait, what is that about?
So when Colin Farrell and his wife, Nicole Kidman, are in the kitchen and they're like, what do we do? What do we do? And she's like, you need to fix this. And he's like, oh, what do I just need to find, like, the pubes of a virgin, some old teeth, some hair. And then it's like going through all the cabinets and like, any pubes in here? Oh, we must have misplaced them. I wish I could do an Irish accent, but I'll tell you, I cannot.
I fucking loved that moment because
it was incredible.
I don't know, the whole movie, like their whole house, their family, everything is just so kind of like what Collin was talking about earlier. Like it's kind of like the gears of a watch, you know, it's all like very particular, it's all very well thought out, you know. And like and it felt like the most mild breakdown ever, like in that it was like so perfect for like these characters in this world, like for them to have like a big freak out moment and literally he's just like throwing shit on the ground, you know, like it's it didn't even get like that crazy, you know. And it just kind of shows that like even when like he was freaking out, he still had to kind of keep a certain sense of control. And I just thought that was super telling.
Also, earlier in that scene, he is eating dinner, and he says to Nicole Kidman, "This meat is delicious." And I thought that was a funny line. Why wouldn't you identify the meat?
And he asks for mashed potatoes tomorrow, and as we all know, the Irish potatoes.
Oh, the potatoes!
I didn't even make that connection. Oh my god!
What a freaking Mick.
Another note on Nicole Kidman, if you Google this movie, Killing of a Sacred Deer, the cast list that shows up, everybody has their character name next to their name. Colin Farrell, Stephen Barry Keoghan, Martin, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Nicole Kidman, surgeon's wife.
Jesus.
I know. How rude. Okay, is that sexist or what? She has a name. Okay, it's Anna.
We also skipped past a hilarious anecdote. It's during the plopping or the splatting. Colin Farrell is trying to call Bob's bluff, his son's bluff, and he's like, "Hey, I'll tell you a secret that I've never told anyone, and you tell me one, okay?" And then Colin Farrell proceeds to tell his son about how he jerked his dad off once, and his son is just like, "Neat. I don't have any secrets."
So is that
That's
another?
exactly how I'd respond to it.
Is that another thing that you guys have done?
What? What?
It's weird. I just have Steve jacked off his dad in my notes.
Yeah.
Wowie.
Cool.
And that's like...
Now I officially can't send this podcast to my mom.
He really could have stopped the story earlier, and it's still been weird, you know? Just with, like, the jerking off or whatever. Sure, okay. I started jerking off around your age. That's my secret. Okay, what did you do?
Plenty good. Anyway.
We also, somewhere around here, is when Martin shows up outside the hospital and calls the daughter, and... she can walk for a second. So it kind of is like, we never actually find out how the magic is happening. How they're being afflicted. You know, that doesn't seem like, because they've run all the tests. They're not poisoned. There's nothing wrong with them, like, scientifically. So, we never find out what exactly it is that makes them be like this, except that it's something to do with Martin, and it seems like he can control it somehow.
They get to the point where the doctors are calling it, you know, a psychosomatic disorder, which, you know, they even say in the movie is just what doctors label shit that they don't know what it is. Which happens more often than we think, that doctors are just like, I don't know why you're blacking out constantly. This must just be your psychosomatic disorder. Yeah.
Doctors love to invent a disease for you to have rather than figure out one that they don't know what it is.
It's hard sometimes.
So Colin Farrell's character is hit with this dilemma. Now both his kids are, you know, on their way towards dying. And he's going to have to pick somebody. So he goes to visit the school principal.
Incredible.
Ask him a bunch of questions and see if the principal can pick which of his kids is better.
Yeah.
So good. So fucking good.
Wild. Truly wild shit. And actually, another little Easter egg in this little part, the principal does say that Kim got an A+ for her essay on the tragedy of Iphigenia, which is the tragedy that was referenced in this movie I just talked about a second ago. So
very cool.
Yeah, just a wild little nugget.
There are two things I really liked about that scene. I really liked one, just how almost like utilitarian Colin Farrell's character treats being a parent, you know, because it reminded me of the line that like Nicole Kidman says later, like, we can always have another kid, you know?
Yeah.
So they're just trying to pick like which one is better. And I feel like, how the fuck?
And it's wild that it's so clearly not going to be her that he kills too. Like they're pretty much set on like it's going to be one of the kids, even though she is part of the deal. Like she is supposed to be part of the deal.
Yeah, exactly.
She never gets afflicted, but yeah.
Yeah. And I also really like too how this just kind of goes back to the whole idea of accountability in this movie. Like just going back to he can't like hold himself accountable for like murdering Martin's dad, and like he is like he's essentially asking this principal to make the decision for him, just because like this dude just can't fucking make a decision to save his life or the lives of others, literally.
Yeah.
Literally his job.
Yeah. It's his job and he cannot do it.
Yeah, he just fucking sucks. I mean,
yeah, and throughout the whole movie, he refuses to accept accountability for, I mean, he says, like, you know, Nicole Kidman asks him, like, were you drinking before you did the surgery? Oh, I only had a couple drinks. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. But, like, the delivery sells it as if it's nothing. But, like, any surgeon having a few drinks before he goes into surgery is, like, so crazy and terrible.
Of course, then later we have another disgusting movie, because this is a gross movie for perverts, in which Colin Farrell's nurse meets up with Nicole Kidman, and Nicole Kidman's like, yo, I need you to like get me these files about, Martin's dead dad. And the dude's like, can't do it, you know, but I can tell you some things if you freaking give me a hand job. And smash cut to him getting a freaking hand job by Nicole Kidman. And A, gross, that's a skeevy fucking gross thing to do. B, that's it? You didn't you didn't even ask for a beeger?
Yeah. I have a note. I wrote for a hand job in all caps, exclamation point, question mark. Like, that's it?
That's it? That's the one you can do yourself.
Yeah, this dude fucking sucks at negotiating.
Yeah, he's a moron.
Other than that, though, he was my favorite character. He was the most likable character.
You think so? He forced another man's wife to give him a hand job. But sure.
I stand by it.
So close somewhere in here is where we also get the spaghetti scene.
Yeah, which we need to talk about.
Where Nicole Kidman goes over to Martin's house to try and talk him out of being insane. And yeah, so he's eating the spaghetti, and he's basically tells a story about how he used to think he was special the way he eats spaghetti, and then finds out that he's not special and everyone eats spaghetti the same way that he eats it, which I have to say cannot be true.
Nope.
At all.
Y'all had a spaghetti dinner with people before?
Yes.
Probably.
Okay.
I've eaten spaghetti with people.
Okay, you ever wanted to vomit during that meal because of how your friends were eating their spaghetti? Have you ever?
I live with a gross eater, so.
I don't want to eat spaghetti anymore because of this fucking scene. He gets like a clump on his fork and just takes a bite of the clump.
I will tell you the most godless part about this scene is that he's doing it in a fucking white shirt.
That's bold. I respect that.
Danger.
That's someone that is in control of their future.
Yeah. He a gross MFer though.
Yeah, and it's just like goes back into what I said, like he just gets grosser and grosser throughout this movie, and I just can't think of many things more gross than like the close up of his face with like spaghetti grease and stuff all over his cheeks, and like ugh. Yeah,
it doesn't even look, it looks like instead of marinara, it's like old brown marinara. The sauce is like brown. It's not red. It's gross.
And maybe he's got
spaghetti.
He's got the beef sauce.
Oh, maybe he does have a beef sauce. I don't know. I'm veggie boy.
Me too. But yeah, so gross scene, and Nicole Kidman ends up kidnapping the boy.
Smart move.
Wait, is that what happened? I missed that part. Yeah, because I was confused how Martin got to their house. So she kidnapped him in that scene?
She kidnaps him, yeah. She comes in and grabs Colin Farrell, is like, I gotta show you something, and then takes him to the basement, is like, I brought him here, or something to that effect, but yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't show her kidnapping him, That's the only way that you come to that conclusion, is that she goes over to Colin Farrell's like, I gotta show you something, and takes him to the basement. And then he's down there and he's all tied up and whatever. So yeah, so he's in the basement all tied up besides his mouth for some reason.
Why would you not?
Not screaming or anything, just chilling tied up to a chair or whatever. And the bite, he bites Colin Farrell. Oh, it's rough. And then bites his own arm. Ay.
So I wasn't necessarily a fan of this scene. Mm-hmm. Besides it being like gross and weird and shit, like I felt like that this was kind of the most like spoon feedy part for me, because like the whole like, let me explain this to you sort of thing, like an eye for an eye sort of thing.
Yeah.
But like I'm cool with it just because of how graphic it was.
Yeah. So it was still like lining up with his view of like the karma that he's imposing on them of like, you killed my family member, now you have to kill your family member, then we're even. So I bit you, now I bite me, now we're even, you know. Just going with that same thing. I don't know if I needed that reiterated, but it was gross. And
but what he does say though is really cool, because like Martin says like the whole thing like, see, like I hurt you. What does he say? He can like stroke the wound or something, and like that like makes it like feel better, or that won't make it feel better. And like I did really like that line, just because it was I feel like that was, you know, like telling of the whole like what Colin Farrell's been doing, just like I've been coming by, or like he's been coming by and like giving him these gifts and like spending time with Martin and stuff and talking with him and like playing this fatherly role. But that was like Martin's way of saying like, that's not helping, that's just making it worse, you know?
You're right. Yeah. Around here too is when we start to see the kids are between themselves. The daughter keeps being like, well, you're probably going to be the one to die, or, you know, just like not being helpful. And so
sibling talk.
Classic sibling talk that we've all had. The kids start crawling around everywhere with their arms, like just crawling around, and it's kind of horrifying. I guess it's also a reference to a famous painting called Christina's World by the painter Andrew Wyeth.
Okay.
He painted his pal who had a degenerative neuromuscular disease in the same way, like crawling around on her arms towards a farmhouse, and it's spooky.
It's another
it's spooky and creepy and sad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just another weird. Nothing is natural in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, ever since Martin gets down in the basement, I mean, this movie goes into a very quick spiral of becoming just absolutely off the rails. And this is part of it. Like the kids crawling around, being all spooky. The boy crawls around and cuts his hair and is like, Dad, look, I cut my hair. Like, will you let me live now? Like, basically, like, I decided I want to be a doctor like you when I grow up and everything. Like,
let me go water the plants.
Yeah, let me go water the plants. His legs don't work and he's dying. It's like absolutely insane and so disturbing. Like, I think that's one of the most disturbing parts of this movie.
For sure.
And the daughter, through all of this, still like being in love with Martin through everything.
Teenage girls. Just teenage girls.
Crawling down the stairs on her little arms. Brought him a cigarette and is like, let's run away together.
Maybe I hang out with too many teenage girls at work. This tracks. This, I was like, yes. I have worked with so many teenage girls who are like, yes, I love my horrid, ugly, terrible boyfriend who hates me. And I will literally die for him.
From personal experience, as someone formerly known as a teenage girl with terrible, horrible, shitty boyfriends.
Yeah.
Whom I would do anything for when I was a terrible teenage person.
Maybe it's metaphorical, but it tracks.
Yeah, I think it works on both levels, because when I watch it, I kind of took it as like she saw firsthand that Martin somehow has the ability to lift this curse, and she was just trying to get on his good side, you know?
Maybe she thought like, oh, because we're in love, like he'll take care of me, and this will just be temporary or whatever.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Martin doesn't work that way.
So true. So he's not having it, and she runs away.
She does not run.
It's so insane.
She crawls away.
She crawls away.
She gets far.
Oh my god.
Really far.
She does get
like,
far.
what was the time span there? Like, maybe like 30 minutes?
I don't know. It's really hard to say. But yeah, so she, escapes, I guess.
Your elbows would be raw after like 10 minutes, and simply pulling yourself forward would be
her whole body.
agonizing.
I mean, her whole body was.
Even if, like, I'm saying, like, okay, even if let's say the curse, she can't feel her legs at all, so her legs can take a beating. That doesn't remove her abdomen and elbows, which are going to be bloodied on this fucking concrete. Brutal.
Yeah.
Her knees were weak. Dad spaghetti.
Oh my god.
Okay, we need to wrap this up.
So when they find her, though, because they go out looking for her, and she's in the headlights, and she's all fucked up and like bloody, and boy, that was wild. Yeah. Soon after this is when the boy's eyes start bleeding.
I was waiting for it for so long.
I know. I really thought it would have happened a lot sooner.
I know, we were like, when the fuck are we going to see these tears of blood? I want to see it so bad. And then
And it did not disappoint.
no, it did not disappoint. It was so sick.
Yeah. It was insane. I could barely watch.
We're not talking like one like teardrop of blood. Like blood begins oozing out of this kid's eyeballs.
I'll tell you, I've been watching True Blood for a long time. And the vampires in True Blood cry blood when they cry.
Oh my
And
God.
I'll tell you, it doesn't look half as sick as this boy with his eyes bleeding. And True Blood, take some notes, okay? I know you've been off the air for about 15 years, but take notes, okay?
Oh my god, stop standing True Blood on the podcast.
Good show. So yeah, boy's eyes are bleeding. It's fucked up. Should have happened a lot sooner. And the mom never goes paralyzed, right?
Never has any symptoms.
Yeah, so it would have been cool to see all of them have a little more symptoms, but I'm still happy with how this ended up. So they end up basically taping everyone up and putting them in the living room. Nicole Kidman delivering the line, "I'm going to wear that black dress that you like." Where you might murder me. Interesting.
It was kind of cool. I kind of liked it.
It was they pick the like most bonkers way to randomly execute a member of the family.
Absolutely, yeah. So they put them in like a triangle formation in the living room, basically. Grab a rifle, everyone gets blindfolded, and Colin Farrell just stands in the middle and spins in a circle and shoots at some point. And is like, hopefully I'm shooting one of my family members and not...
That's the best case scenario.
Yeah, but there's so much space in between them. Like, he could be shooting anything, which he does twice.
Fucking pick straws.
Yeah, I don't know. Or at least, like, line them up in a line, or I don't know, something.
It was very dumb.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This is when the movie kind of started to fall flat for me a little bit.
The very last scene, basically.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I loved this, but go on.
I was just like hoping that something else would happen, because since the whole movie like is kind of about like accountability and like, you know, making yourself be held responsible for like your actions or inactions or whatever, I was hoping that when Colin Farrell decided to do this, since it was kind of another version of him not having to make a choice, you know, that once he killed one of them, that then it did not solve the curse, since he didn't actively choose which one to kill, you know? And I felt like it was just like a little bit of a cop-out.
That would have been cool, you're right.
Yeah.
So like that was just kind of like my beef with it. Like, because then like after that's just like, oh, he killed little Bobby. I don't know. I just wish that there was like more of a lesson learned, you know?
Yeah, and let's be real, the girl should have been the one to be murdered. I mean, it seemed pretty obvious.
What are you talking about? We all knew Bob was going to be the one to die.
Well, she should have, like, if you're going to pick which of your kids is shittier, like, this girl is in love with Martin. She's clearly still got a foot in that door.
She's smoking.
Okay.
Her voice.
She just started her period. I mean, come on.
Holy shit. Okay, going back to like my fifth note.
She told her mom, "Fuck you." Remember in the hospital?
Yeah. She did. She is a bad kid.
By the way, I said "fuck you" to my mom once when I was a young teen, and said it in the same way.
very quietly under your breath.
Yeah, but my mom also did hear it, and I did get grounded, but I got my way in the end, actually, so it's fine.
And you're still alive.
And I am still technically alive.
Okay. We're going to move away from Kayla's mom territory again, like we do every podcast. No, I fucking kill Nicole Kidman. Well, no, don't kill Nicole Kidman. Yeah, I guess the daughter's the best to die.
Nicole Kidman's the only good one.
And she's a babe.
Well, the son's good, too. Yeah. Yeah, and then who you gonna fuck? You kill Nicole Kidman. I guess you could go for Alicia Silverstone.
Yeah, but think about, then you have to reintroduce the kink to a new partner, and that's a whole thing.
She has her own kink. Road.
So. Yeah, with Nicole Kidman, you already got your kink set up. You're in a good sitch. And she's, like, into it. Like, she, apparently, every night is just like, all right, I'm going to go limp now.
16 years they've been together. 16 years they've been together, and they're still banging regularly. That's great.
Good on them. Yeah. We have one final scene in the Blue Jay.
The family goes to the restaurant. They sit down and instantly have food, and they eat the food and they leave. And they look at Martin's over there drinking water, looking all horny. The girl's sitting there eating her fries first, and giving flirty eyes. And that's basically roll creds. Yeah.
I liked the little. Even though I after hearing TJ talk about what could have been with the curse, which I totally agree. Like, they definitely could have done more, and I didn't even think about it. Mm-hmm. I did love this last little. It's a 3-minute scene maybe, and it just feels like this knife twist on the Murphys, the family. Because Martin strolls in with fucking impunity. Just looking like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Because he won. Martin wins it. This ugly MFer wins in the end.
All right. So, any more thoughts on the movie?
Man, I love this.
Yeah, it was an enjoyable movie. I gave it a mid 7. I said 7.5
out of 10.
Out of 10.
Where you think...
We normally do a 5-point score.
Yeah, where TF you think you are?
So what do you do out of 5?
Oh, okay, so I will give it a 3.75.
Oh my god, okay. The decimals now.
I knew!
No, it's great. We love it. Collin, what do you give it out of 5?
Oh, this gets 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah, it's... Because I base this off of, like, what do I think they could improve upon? Like, a 5-star movie is a movie you can't improve upon. And there's just a little bit to be improved upon in this. 4.5. This fucking rocked.
Yeah. I'll say 4. Yeah, right in the middle of y'all two.
Hell yeah. For sure watch this thing, though. This is
we would definitely
wild.
recommend a watch. Yeah. All right, so now that we're done talking about the dang movie, now it's time for ScreenVomit. So in this little bit here, we talk about other stuff that we've been watching besides this movie. So Collin, what have you been watching?
Me? Mm-hmm. Mostly wrestling, because the last time we recorded was Friday. So since then, I recorded for my wrestling podcast and watched a ton of Bizarro Lucha, which, I'll plug Bizarro, my other podcast, Bizarro Cult, which is about Bizarro Lucha, which is an Indianapolis-based wrestling promotion, and I had a lot of fun watching that. We just recorded an episode on Shotzi Blackheart, who fucking rips. So that's it. That's what I've been watching. How about you?
Let's ask TJ. TJ, what you been watching?
Yu-Gi-Oh! Just a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, neato.
Yeah. So, Amanda has never watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Before. We learned this maybe a couple months ago. And since she lives with me and Nick Pinder, she has entered the Shadow Realm. So we have been just watching a fuck ton of Yu-Gi-Oh! We recently just finished the Battle City arc. If you have not watched it, I highly recommend it. Holds up very well. If you are a connoisseur of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game, you will hate it because they do not follow the rules a lot. There's a lot of cheating that is involved, but all for the sake of plot armor. And I have no other complaints besides that. It is very near and dear to my heart.
Kayla, you ever watched an ep of Yu-Gi-Oh?
No, I don't think so.
Me neither.
maybe once if like Goo was watching it or something, but the thing about me is I don't really watch cartoons, so
Yeah, too adult. You're
It's
you're
not
grown
cartoons, it's anime.
I know. I don't really watch animated content. The thing about it is that includes everything, like Simpsons, like anything that's animated like that. Even if I am liking it, I think it's funny, it puts me to sleep. It just puts me right to sleep. So I just can't watch animated stuff very much.
I mean, at least you have something to put you to sleep consistently, though.
Yeah. Well, I don't have any trouble sleeping normally, so.
Huh. Well, that's cool.
Just don't have those problems. Sorry.
Whatever. I will continue watching my Yu-Gi-Oh! In peace.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
No hate at all. I mean, yeah, do you? But I just fall asleep. I don't know. It's like something psychological for me. I just can't watch anything cartoons. All right. So what have I been watching? I've been watching Little Fires Everywhere. Have y'all seen this?
No.
Lindsay just watched it, and I watched along for the first episode, and I loathed it. So I didn't watch it, but I did watch like when I'd come home and Lindsay be watching it. So I know the story.
Why'd you loathe it?
For the reasons it's intended. I was just like, fuck Reese Witherspoon. Like, her character's supposed to be kind of repulsive a little bit. Yeah. But it wasn't the right kind of repulsive for me. It made me repulsed by Reese Witherspoon. I hated her. Yeah. Not just the character.
I get that.
Yeah, it just made me very angry, so I didn't want to watch it.
So it's set in the 90s, and so they do include like a lot of race politics and stuff like that, and they include them to where they would have been in the 90s. Yeah. More or less, which makes Reese Witherspoon as a like rich white woman, both in the show and in real life. Some of the things she says and the way that she acts, they can be a little annoying for that reason. And by annoying, I mean repulsive.
Yeah, I also think I went in with real Big Little Lies vibes, and because I liked Big Little Lies a lot, both seasons, and it's not like Big Little Lies to me. So there
are some similarities though. So
it didn't strike with me, but I'm not like hateful towards it.
Reese Witherspoon popping off, right now. She's going everywhere.
This freaking studio apparently that's funding all of it.
Oh really? I will say I'm more or less enjoying the show. The episodes are long. I'm not great with an hour-long show. Yeah. Because I watch TV in like 20-minute spurts, so it's like 3 sittings of me watching TV to get through one episode.
Sure.
But the only thing I don't really like about this show, or the main thing I don't like about it, is that it's set in the 90s, which, as we all know, the greatest decade there ever was, and there are almost no signs throughout the show that it is in the 90s.
Just no cell phones. That's pretty much it.
But she has a car phone, which is practically a cell phone. Yeah, but like there's no like fashion. Like 90s had such iconic like hair and fashion. There's none of that in this show. Everybody just looks like they would normally, like you would look now. They look normal. Even to the extent that the music in the show, 90s, iconic music. There's so many songs that are iconic. And multiple times throughout this show, they have put, those trailer songs like that you see on movie trailers, it's like a cover of a song, but it's like all slow and dreamy and whatever. No. They've done trailer covers of 90s songs. They did a trailer cover. They did a trailer cover of Sex and Candy, and I about lost my GD mind. I
don't remember any of the songs because they have at least one per episode of the trailer cover. And I laughed so many times because I'd be walking through.
It's terrible.
And it'd be like Believe by Cher. And it's just like, do you believe in life after love? And I'm just like, what the fuck is this?
I would not be able to take that seriously. I'm sorry.
The music is a train wreck.
Just the whole 90s aspect of it just really, that kills me. But the show is interesting enough.
Yeah, Kerry Washington is great. Reese Witherspoon is great. They both rule.
Is this on Hulu? Is it a Hulu show?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hulu.
Okay. Yu-Gi-Oh is also on Hulu.
Oh, well, my Hulu account is expiring, sorry.
It's also on Netflix. There's 3 seasons.
I'm throwing my TV out, so...
Yeah. But anyway, besides the 90s things, like, the only reason why you know the shows in the 90s is because every once in a while they'll, like, cut to the television screen. They'll be like, oh, we're just watching Ricky Lake or something. But other than that, absolutely no 90s references at all, which just is absolutely wild to me.
Yeah.
I did want to just recommend one other thing. Because a few episodes ago we talked about Tiger King. Mm-hmm. I listened to a podcast that was interesting about Tiger King. So it was actually an episode of Justin Long's podcast.
Okay.
So this is random. Okay, it's called Life is Short with Justin Long.
All right.
There's a guy who made a Joe Exotic podcast years before the show ever came out. His podcast is good, but he guested on Justin Long's podcast, and the episode is very good. And they go into like some real hard-hitting shit about like why people even find it entertaining to watch, and how there's, classism involved and things like that. And I just thought it was a really good listen, so I just want to recommend that episode of Justin Long's podcast.
Look, the content sounds on point, all right?
Please forgive me, but it actually is it's a really interesting discussion. Okay, I just think it's an important discussion to have.
Do you regularly listen to Justin Long's podcast about being short or something?
No, I only listened to the one episode because I knew that guy was on it.
Okay.
So,
all right, that's better.
Cool. Anything else? Any other thoughts that y'all have?
I don't have any more thoughts.
TJ, do you have any plugs? What are you working on?
Yeah, I can plug.
Can you legally say what you're working on?
I think I can.
Okay.
Because, there's already commercials coming out for it. I've told Collin all about it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Alrighty, so I think June sometime is when the air date is a new show called Cannonball, starring Mike the Miz Mizanin.
Wow.
And it's brought to you by the same people who made Wipeout. And it is a comedy sports competition, water competition sort of show where we built a giant fucking water park, essentially, and just made people do ridiculous challenges for a $10,000 grand prize. And it was an absolute blast to work on. And I'm still working on it just because of the whole pandemic. It has slowed down our editing process and stuff, but we're still somewhat on schedule. But the episodes are turning out really well. Like it's really funny. There's some great characters in each episode. If you are a fan of the show Wipeout, if you're a fan of like just goofy ass people just like jumping off of like a fucking 70-foot tall slide and hitting a giant 16-foot wooden target, basically, the show might be for you. It's quite the ride.
Hell yeah. Do you get to hang with the Miz?
Not really. I had one interaction with him, and it did not go well.
Oh, no.
Give it a watch. You
Hell
might
yeah.
enjoy it.
For sure.
Hell yeah. My big showbiz pal, TJ.
That's me.
Is that all? Was there anything else?
I already plugged Cannonball, and I already plugged Yu-Gi-Oh! I have done what I need to do here.
All right.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, then we would like to plug Thin Swimmer, who does our theme song. You can support Thin Swimmer on their Bandcamp, thinswimmer.bandcamp.com. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Letterboxd, all the things. Subscribe on your podcast app at ScreenVomit, one word, on everything. Or you can send us an email at screenvomitpod@gmail.com with your thoughts on this movie or other movies, or suggest movies for the future, because we're going to be locked up for the rest of our lives. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Okay, I'm going to stop recording now.